A very good evening to all of you, all the attendees and viewers who are watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. A very warm welcome to the Author Saga series. A quick recap for those of you who are new to Pick a Book. Pick a Book is all about reading and more reading and inculcating the habit of reading, research, and presenting the summary of it in our regular meeting sessions. Creating a better world by changing the sense of self through the habit of reading is the vision of Pick a Book. Currently, Pick a Book marked its inspiring presence in four countries: Sri Lanka, India, Singapore, and UK, with over 1,000 plus readers, 18 plus regions, and 70,000 plus people inspired through our sessions so far, all in just a span of 1 year. Pick a Book is now continuing to spread its wings across the globe. So we have come up with a new initiative, a brand of our own called Author Saga series, wherein the authors can reach their readers and the individuals with like-minded interests. So authors can also discuss the key insights of their books, and the readers can have this wonderful opportunity to know more about the author, know about the book from the author himself or herself. So today we have with us Mr. Amandeep Thind and Meenakshi Srivatsav, who co-authored this wonderful book called Rejection to Redirection. So a very warm welcome, Mr. Amandeep and Meenakshi.
Thank you so much, Swarna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sorno. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you. Okay, so just quickly to know more about the authors, Mr. Amandeep is a world-renowned international speaker, trainer, and a best-selling author. With over 14 plus years of experience, he has developed a simple yet powerful and experimental technique that have touched more than thousands of lives. Amandeep believes that humans are born with brilliance. He has created a very unique system with his proven ability to train the people to discover themselves and live their lives to the fullest. So he also worked with the world's best personal development trainers like Tony Robbins, T. Half Ecker, Robert Kiyosaki, Jordan Belfort, Les Brown, and many, many more. His training programs are challenging, interactive, and knowledgeable as well. So he desires to make his learning methods more impactful for students, especially. And he has developed a program called Speak to Shine, in which he shares his hacks on how to create a premium content. So very pleased to know about you, Mr. Amandeep, and once again, now welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. And let us get to know a little about Meenakshi Srivatsav as well. So she is an IT engineer and a postgrad in marketing and international business. And she has been traveling since she was born and traveling for years. She fell in love with the cities that she visited and the ones she didn't as well. So she believes that the entire world is a home and we can make each city our own, and hence promotes experiential traveling and traveling as a local, through her social media channels known as My Boho Voyage. So other than being a travel blogger and YouTuber, she is also a podcaster. She's a host of Inspiring Explorers podcast and has been featured in the Better India News amongst the top 5 Indian podcasts. And she is also a fine artist and an Amazon best-selling author. So a very warm welcome to you, Meenakshi Srivatsav.
Thank you so much, Swarna, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you both with us tonight. It is going to be a special evening because we have, a co-authors, coming together on the show for the first time. So, okay, let me now, before we start the show, I would like to congratulate you both on this wonderful book, and from Pick a Book team as well, and from our lovely audience. Congratulations, and we all wish you a long way in writing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, to start with, I usually want to know, are you both avid readers? What is the role that books played in your life? And so is it that, helped you a great deal to be what you are today? So let's start with Mr. Aman.
Well, the way I look at myself, that I would not consider myself as a reader, like reading through reading. But yes, I do, soak into knowledge, information, understanding of life. So obviously, as the technology has changed, I have shifted from reading to audiobooks and watching videos. But yes, if you look at me as one of the seekers, curious to understand more about life, I definitely consider myself to be one of those people. That's why I do what I do is teach people. And if you want to teach people, I think you really have to have this beautiful quality, of reading. Obviously, the reading style may have changed because of technology. So I don't pick up a lot of books to read these days, but I do definitely, watch videos and listen to audios. That's how I take new knowledge and information.
Okay. So how about you, Meenakshi Srivatsa?
Well, so like traveling, I've also been an avid reader since I was a kid. And I remembered when we were in 12th grade, we used to fight for books because there was just one library and one
Okay.
ticket of the library could give just three books to each kid. So there used to be a fight for the books, amongst us.
Okay.
So, and literally like big fights, and we would collect all the tickets from all the kids who would not read the books so that we can get all the books that we could read. My favorite books have been The Alchemist, of course, and like number of times you read it and you can learn a lot of things about life. The Secret, of course, how to
Mm.
unleash the power of the universe for yourself. And then because change has been an important part of my life, I read this Who Moved My Cheese, and that has played a good role too in understanding change and how to adapt to change. So yes, I have been a reader and I wanted to write a book, and thanks to Amandeep Thind sir that I got a chance to write a book.
Great. And it's a pleasure to have you both as well because you have started reading and writing books. So thank you so much. And okay, first of all, how did your journey as a writer start? So with you, Mr. Aman, so how did you get into this journey of writing? So were you interested, or you have it the goal right from your child?
Well, not really. I never even thought that I would write a book in my life until I reached 35 years of age or 36.
Okay.
I mean, book definitely had a huge impact in my life. I was saved because of a book, because I was suicidal. When I was 16 years old, I had to move from Calcutta to a very remote village in Punjab, and I faced a lot of discrimination because of my skin color, because of my origin, and the way I spoke. There's a certain way
Okay.
people speak in a certain part of the, let's say, in a remote part of Punjab. So, anyways,
True.
I was looking for answers or help, and I was seeking
Mhm.
out to God and saying, what, please rescue me. And then I
Mhm.
got introduced to Amway through a surprise letter, which came to my house. I went to the meeting and I got introduced to personal development books. So my first two books, which I read, was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and the
Mhm.
second one was How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. I mean, till 36, 37, I think I didn't see myself becoming an author. But then when I took up the journey of becoming a speaker and helping, people find their voice, one of the things I learned from a mentor, that if you write a book, you can establish yourself as authority in front of people who want to, listen from you. So
Mhm.
that made me, start writing my book. Though a lot of my book has been spoken, I speak the words out, and then
Okay.
somebody helps me to clean it up. And it
Mhm.
took me almost 4 years because I was in this situation of being perfect, which we would never be. And
Mhm.
book which could have been launched in, let's say, 2017 or 16, I launched it in 2020 January. And
Okay.
then during the pandemic stage, when we couldn't reach to audience or students like physically, we wanted to help them
Mhm.
out and see, how we can find a way to give them more visibility, more authority, more credentials for what they do. And then
Mhm.
one of my students, God bless him, Ashutosh Kant, he gave me this idea, says, why don't you get your students involved in writing a book with you? Because you understand so much about the pain, people have about being perfect in life. And if you can help them and nudge them a little bit, and, you can help some authors to come out. And that's how the whole journey of co-authoring, started for me. But coming back, my first book, I wrote it because I wanted to reach out to more people. Because there are times, or there are many occasions, you cannot do a physical event at some city, some country, but you can have a
True.
piece of your, learnings sitting in a library, and somebody can pick that up, and you never know whose life can be impacted by reading what you
Exactly.
understand about life.
Exactly. I so agree for that because books are, you just don't need a place to, for books because, with books you can travel all around the world just by sitting at one corner of your house. So that's a great advantage of having this habit of reading, and you and people like you who author books are a great source of help for a lot of people out there. So how about you, Meenakshi? How did your journey as a writer start?
So, as I said that I used to read a lot of books, I had this
Mhm.
idea of I want to write my book someday. So it was
Okay.
initial idea was to write storybooks, fiction, and I never
Mhm.
thought that I would be writing this kind of a book. So, but then I started, like Amandeep sir mentioned, pandemic happened, and I happened to be a travel blogger, and due to pandemic, it stopped. So I started podcasting, and through that, I met a lot of thought leaders, and
Mm.
I met Amandeep sir also through that podcasting. And
Oh,
when I did that, Amandeep sir came with an idea of co-authoring the books, and he came up with the idea that would you like to join me in this? And I was like, I jumped in as soon as he asked me. I jumped in because like why not? And I would get a kickstart. You all you need is a push, and it
exactly.
happened because of him. Because otherwise, the thought would have just been lingering in the universe, and it wouldn't have happened for the next 5-10 years. And as soon as he said it, I jumped in. He helped and motivated a lot into it, and the chapter
Okay.
was written in like very quickly. It didn't take so much time that you keep thinking, no, we'll write a book, and then it never happens because we don't jot it down. It
Okay.
takes just that much to do. So that push helped, and I wrote a book, and it came
Mhm.
out and became, thankfully, it became a Amazon best-selling book. And so that was the journey how I wrote my book.
Okay. So, out of curiosity, I want to know because a co-authoring, what was the experience of co-authoring a book? Like, uh, do you face any challenges of having different mindsets from different backgrounds, or does it make the job easier for you guys? And how is the whole experience of, people together writing a book? Yeah,
Who would like
anyone,
to go
Mr.
first?
Aman?
I think if Meenakshi goes first, it'll be better because then you will get a point of view of what a writer feels. But then I'll tell you what does an organizer feel, when you have to put 20 people in one place. So yeah, let's Meenakshi, share your perception about writing, co-authoring a book.
Well, from my end, as the writer and not the organizer, so I had to worry about my chapter basically. But the team was nice, like all the 19 authors that we co-authored the book with. They had so many inspiring journeys that each session that we did together, it was always, helping you to grow more, to understand life more. The rejections, and people get feared through rejections, but how they redirected those rejections, and they have some amazing stories out there in the book. So each
Okay.
session helped us to understand the lives even better, and gave us more motivation to do what we are doing, and not get demotivated by simple challenges that we face. So I think for me it was a good experience. I got to learn about, like, I wrote my story, and I'm like, I have so much to tell, and now I have multiple books that I can write because of this chapter. I couldn't fit all of it in one chapter, so I was like, now I have an idea to write more books. So thanks to Amandeep sir for that as well. And then the co-authors that we all sat together, it was always a good session, understanding, discussing wise thoughts, and so many stories from everybody. So it was a good experience for me altogether. It was a good learning experience.
Superb. So there's always one first step. That's it. Then after that, we would like to conquer everything we see. So how about what's your experience, Mr. Aman?
As I mentioned, Ashutosh, one of my student, he encouraged me to get into this territory, of helping my students write the books, along with me. But I
Yeah.
also realized the power, or let's say the challenges, you face when you bring a group of people with
Yep.
different dynamics towards it. So, this piece is here, rejection to redirection. So for it to come into my hand, it was it was an immense hell lot of a journey, for us. Especially, I was one of those, people who was supposed to make it all come together. But then one thing I want to share, everybody listening here, this is my recommendation that you must write a book because there's a story in you which needs to be heard. At least there are a few thousand people, minimum, probably, who would be absolutely inspired by the journey because of the life you have lived, because of the parents you had, because of the culture you've been through, all that. So coming back, yes, it's a challenging situation when you have people, actually it's subconscious. There's a layer of a surface level question, but most
Yeah.
questions arise from doubts. And it's your self image, that whether you see yourself stepping into those shoes of owning the fact that, what, I can write. Writing is nothing, writing is like your thoughts. We are writing all the time. It's just that
Yeah.
you have to take those words, put it in a piece of paper, and eventually make it readable, and clean it up. That's what all it is about. Every day we are writing a book, about our life. So anyways, from my point of view, we do have challenges where people keep projecting their doubts on you with different questions, like, oh, how should I write this, where should I write this, can I write this one, can you check this one, oh, I have got like 20 pictures, can you see which one is the best one to go? So yeah, I mean, all that happened, but eventually, after all that process of pain and taking care of the doubts, and as Meenakshi said, oh God, I mean, some stories you read, oh God, you go like, oh God, oh God, oh God, because you get to know them, more at a deeper level. So yeah, I
Exactly.
mean, it has been an exciting journey. It has been challenging from aspect of putting everybody on a deadline, which is challenge because somebody is still like, can I have another 2 days? Can I have another 3 days? So eventually the chapters came in, we cleaned it up, and it all went well. And I think finally we had a big hit because of lockdown, in India. We wanted to launch in May. We couldn't because the printers were shut down, the laborers couldn't come in, or whatever, the people couldn't do it. So eventually, that we were rejected. Boom! They said, you know what? Here's your book. Here's your rejection. Can you face it and redirect? So yes, we said we would, even if we don't like it. So in July we launched the book. Technically it was supposed to be May, but then that's life. We were delayed by 2 good months. But yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed it. I mean, most of it.
Superb. That is very interesting to know because no pain, no gain at the end of the day.
Yeah.
There
And
should
then,
be
as
some
Meenakshi said,
pain.
people are watching
Mm.
you. So you had no choice, when you are actually in with a group, everybody's watching
Yeah.
you like, have you submitted your chapter, my friend? Because my book
Exactly.
cannot be delayed because of you. And they go like, okay, I'm submitting it.
And I would like to add one thing, that what happened was that India suffered to the second wave, and now when we
Yeah.
had to do our project, while we are working on it, and some of their families are sick, we are sick, everybody is getting catching COVID in India. There was a
Mm.
panicky situation, and yet all of us worked together. And because of that push, I think if Amandeep sir wouldn't have pushed us with that deadline, wouldn't have happened as soon as it could, because even because of the pandemic. Otherwise we would have delayed it to December if it was on us, to be
Mm.
honest. So now we know how to plan it, process it, and take out our books now next time if we want to write it. So like, it was a very good learning session for us. And so literally very grateful for this. And COVID did put a good rejection on us, and it got delayed, but not so much because of the teamwork that it happened, and it was good. The rejection,
Superb.
like the book is named Rejection to Redirection, but yet I mean,
So
COVID
you
gave us that, and
lived up to the
still,
title.
yeah,
So
we still do that.
great. So what inspired you, Mr. Aman, to especially title? What is there any inspiring story behind the title?
I think, every human being faces rejections, in their life, and we also give rejections to people. It's an integral part of life. So even if you're not okay, we have to be okay with that, and that actually, takes us to path the unknown territory where we would not ever land up if we don't redirect, after we getting rejected. On a ground level, I think, it was everybody's kind of understanding, because that's how we come across to a theme. Every time we write a book together with 20 authors, like, the next book we are working on is on communication as a theme. So this book, as everybody's voice was more kind of inclined towards saying, what, oh, I want to bring a part of my journey where I was rejected heavily, but then I found a way to be where I am today. So I would like to share, that part, and inspire the readers. So that's how, we came across this theme with the like, with a collaborative, like a vote, I would say.
Mm.
And that's how we thought, what, let's write, because this has been a very close topic for me, for my life. I will actually teach this, because one of the biggest reasons why people would not speak in public, because they have immense fear
Yeah.
of getting rejected.
Rejection.
The judgment
Right.
people would label on me, that how you
Yeah.
speak, how you are nervous, or your skin color, your height, whatever, your background, your English abilities. I mean, some people may not have that, because I didn't have that in the past. So all that labeling, all that rejection stops us from, sharing the real we are.
Yeah.
And if you're okay, even if you're not okay, let's say, because rejection is
Mm.
not a very pleasurable experience for most people, okay, then you would find new horizons and new answers of your life. So I think that's how we went with this. And personal stories, there are many. I mean, just I would like to share, when I met Tony Robbins in 2013,
Mhm.
I was doing an
Mhm.
event with him as a staff business mastering. And then Tony has these program called Platinum Partnership. People really invest a big amount of money to be close to him. So I was given
Okay.
this role to take pictures for all the platinum
Mm.
partners. They individually
Mm.
take pictures with Tony behind the scenes. And at the end, because who I was, I said, "Is it okay if I take a picture with you?" So he said, "No problem. Come on, my friend." So I took that picture on an official camera, and I was not supposed to do that as a staff member. So I was told off later on, and I was given a verbal warning. And this lady, Rachel, she was very unhappy with me, and she never gave me that picture. I wanted to kill her because it's like a fan moment. You meet your fan, you took a picture you really badly wanted. But anyways, I was rejected. Boom, bang on the face. I think she was just doing her job, and then I officially got my picture in 2015, and yeah, it has been a great journey since then. There are many stories, rejection. One of the stories I remember and I talk about, so it's just life.
True, that's very much part and parcel of everybody's life. Whether it may be a small rejection or a big rejection, but still, we just tend to, so um, lost in the thought, like say when we are rejected for some reason, so we just don't like to move from there. Our mindset somewhere will have the blockage. So it's very very important, like how the title has been said. It's very very important to redirect it, to literally redirect your mindset from that place to a new place. So great. So ladies and gentlemen, this book seems to be very 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 useful for everybody out there, because rejection is such an important topic and such a common thing that everybody of us will face for sure. I don't think any person on this earth will go, bypass this any rejection in their life. So we all have to face it for sure. So this book will be a great help for all of them. So just grab it as soon as possible and just enjoy reading it. Okay, so yeah, like you've shared, already shared one of your experiences of rejection. So I was just about to ask you in my next question: have you faced any rejection in your life journey, and how did you redirect it literally? Like, is there any example of what rejection have you faced, and how literally have you redirected it to make it a good point, or a good phase of your life, um, into a new horizon?
Okay, so you have a couple of hours. It's interesting. I was rejected even when I was not born or about to be rejected. Okay, why I say this?
Yeah.
Because when my mom was pregnant, with me, she had this immense
Mhm.
pressure, especially from my grandparents, let's say, or relatives, or even maybe my
Mhm.
father to some extent, that there should be a boy. And I already had a sibling. I had a sister. She's 3 years elder to me, and I mean, she can't really define whether it's a boy or a girl. It's not in her control. I mean, thank God
Yeah.
I came out boy, because if I was a girl, 50% chances I would be massively rejected. So you know what? Oh God, people get rejected in mother's womb, and they have those charge, and those emotions, which is they bring along with them. And having said that, I'm a mixed identity. Like I used to think that way, but I think oh God, what a blessing I am, because my mom is
Mm.
Bengali, very dark in complexion. My father is Punjabi, very fair in
Mm.
complexion. I'm a fusion of North and East, and I'm talking about early 80s. I mean, the world,
Mm.
especially India, has changed maybe a lot, maybe not completely. Still, there is discrimination of your caste, religion, skin color. But oh God, Fair and Lovely was one of the hottest selling cakes, in the 90s. It is still. And I did everything to become fairer, from you name it, haldi, kachi haldi, turmeric, to kacha doodh, raw milk, and then I don't know, some leaves and some cream, and I don't know what shit, to become more fairer and look like Singh, which I don't have in my name anymore, because I consider myself to be a global citizen. I changed my name officially in 2002. So yeah, I have a lot of stories of rejection. I think it
Mm.
was painful experience in most cases, but actually it crafted the man I am today. I think I wouldn't be even half of what I am if it was not for the rejection people gave me. I mean, I literally remember I used to go to watch TV at my landlord's house. Like, we didn't have TV when I was growing up in Calcutta, so we used to
Mhm.
like sneak in into their house. Look through the curtain if the TV is on. On Sundays
That
we'll
is
have these
typically
movies.
the life of 80s kids.
Yeah, Chitrahar on Wednesdays, and Sunday movies. So I would literally sneak in, and watch TV at their place whenever I could. And sometimes it's not nice, it's a bit embarrassing and a bit humiliating, sometimes, because obviously they also get disturbed. So the landlord's pretty much my age, maybe just a little 1 year older to me. He challenged me, he said, "Oh, I will see, if we become something in your life, and if you
Mhm.
make anything out of yourself, because you know what, I think you're a piece of garbage." I mean, that's the kind of energy he gave me, and that really, what, shook me up. And I made a promise, without telling him. I said, you know what, you MF, sorry, you MF,
Yeah.
you watch the space, okay? The day I take a flight, okay, the day I become something big in my life, I will remember you. And that's a true story, When I was taking my first flight in 2006 to come to London, I literally remembered him, I mean, we are friends, I mean, there's nothing wrong, but just that some rejections, what, they live with you longer, and they really carve that personality you want to become, eventually, because everything is learnable, any skill, if you want to really learn, you can learn it. So I
Yeah.
think those are some of the moments, I can talk about, and there have been plenty, and that I get rejected on a regular basis. I mean, for this book, at least 500 people rejected me. Yeah, minimum 500 people had the opportunity to go on a journey with me, but they say, you know what, maybe, I don't know, investment time, blah blah blah. They never came. Meenakshi called up. Oh God, she goes, I am in, I am in, I am in. Okay,
Good.
so that's how I'd like to answer your question.
Thank you so much. That answers a lot of questions to a lot of people out there. Yeah, how about you, Meenakshi? Have you got any such experience of rejection and how you faced it?
Yeah, so funny story. When I was writing a
Mhm.
book, this book, I didn't remember this one, but I remembered the COVID rejection, which was like very new to me. I was
Okay.
facing that right now. Okay. So, as I mentioned, I started podcasting because of the rejections, because traveling was stopped. What do I do now? What do I do? What do I tell my parents I left my job, and what am I going to do next? Like, I quit my job in 2018, and I have a plan that I'll go and travel, and then this COVID happens. They're like, no, no traveling, and I have nothing to do. So I started podcasting, and thankfully, COVID's rejections. Then I got featured on the Better India News, and I connected with so many amazing thought leaders, including Amandeep sir. And you get in each session that you're taking with them, is like a
True.
blessing. That is my earning from my podcast, to be honest. And
Mhm.
another funny story, which I didn't remember that time, was so I used to change a lot of. My father worked in SBI, okay, so we had like every 2 years we had to transfer. Now we are in a
Mhm.
new city in the middle of a session, and everybody's like 90 admission. They're like that, you need to have
Mhm.
that 90% percentile. Otherwise, in mid session, we're not going to take your child in our school. So there were two schools, one completely girls' school, okay, convent. So they're like, they rejected me that no, on the basis of percentile. And I was in
Mhm.
seventh grade. Like, I in that seventh grade. Okay, and I'm not talking a very, very live. It's not a lavish city, and you could have given me, now when I travel back, I'm like, you are not a good school. Shut up. So they literally rejected me. They're like, and you wouldn't be in this school. So the funny story is that I went to a completely boys' school, and
Mhm.
they offered me the school like admission, because they said that we are entering girls this year, so there will be
Mhm.
boys plus girls. We want to make it a co-ed, so we are taking your girl into the school. So it was like 60 boys in the class and two girls, and if one was absent, imagine the pain you're going to go through with 60 boys.
You are the source of, like the point of attraction, like the fame was on you.
It
You have
was
no competition, Meenakshi.
Oh
and that
God, you
was an
enjoyed that
experience.
fame.
But the best part about that school was like, leave those 60 boys behind. If I would see, that school was a kind of British era architecture, like Britishers made them for themselves. So it was, and
Okay.
that time Harry Potter was very famous. So
Ah.
that school was completely Harry Potterized for me, and I was always into that fantasy of, there were big libraries and big washrooms. You would literally be lost in those washrooms. So I used to be sitting in the library. The library had a television. There was guide bulletins, so I would, and no competition for that as well. Nobody, no one, none of the boys would read the books, so I got to read all the books. So, and that library was that, like the British libraries, big high
Yeah,
windows and
true.
architecture. So that was really good. So I think that rejection from that convent, girls' convent, was that I got to be in the school that was, kind of like living in a fairy tale, like Universal Studios or Disneyland. For me at that age. But yeah, quite an experience living with 60 boys and a
Yeah.
single girl sometimes.
You led the path for the others to follow.
Superb. That's a very, very, very interesting story. Very funny. Very good. So, okay. So after in the story 11 of this book, it talks about trusting the cosmos and be a boho soul. So what does that mean?
Okay, so for that you'll have to read my chapter. It's
Mhm.
chapter 11, and trust the cosmos and be a boho soul. Is I mentioned how I trusted the cosmos and how I talk to the universe, and how you can too. You can give it a try. It's not always that the universe answers, but sometimes it does answer. So this is something that happened to me when I was in 12th grade and I lost path. I'm like reading a book again, and in the middle of reading I throw the book away and I'm alone in the room and I'm crying and I'm like, what is the purpose of my life? Why am I alive? And I think I got to know that Secrets documentary. I think I was shown on the same day. I think that's
Uh,
what hit my brain. Think about your purpose. Think about your purpose. What are you doing? So that's a story of how I found my purpose and how universe supported me and told me you can go with it.
mm,
So that's the entire story, and I would like you guys to go and read the chapter rather than me telling you here
definitely.
what I did and what happened next. So that's how, like, and even the podcasting thing, I think, is how the universe conspired to make me meet all these people. I think if traveling wouldn't have
True.
stopped, I would have never started podcasting for the next few years, at least a couple of
Mm,
years, till I'm exhausted with my traveling, and that's never going to happen. So uh, when it stopped and I got to meet all these people, now see, I'm an author. I'm a Amazon best-selling author within a year, and
mm,
I didn't even think of it. So the universe is, conspiring you, and being
inspiring.
bohemian is something, to be a free spirit and following the non-traditional path. If you don't like it, like, it's not like you don't follow the traditional path, but you do something what you like. So all the interviews that I've done in my podcast, even Amandeep sir's, so when you see, these are all bohemian souls. They're not following the traditional path because everybody else is following it. They want to
Yeah,
do it, and that's when they're doing it because they love to do it. They want to help people. So
true.
that's what it's about, be a boho soul and
Mm,
trust the cosmos, because universe is going to give you the answers. And imagine everybody is under this universe. You're all connected. It's just that you have to start that connection. Tell the universe,
connect.
I want to meet that person,
Yeah,
and that person will meet you. You just have to give that idea to the universe, that I want to meet this person, and that person will meet you. So it will be, you're under the same sky. So use that, utilize it. Don't be worried about the rejections.
okay. Superb, it is. Mr. Aman, do you also somewhere believe in this concept of law of attraction? So, what is your idea on this? So, do you, you know,
Well,
wo-
um, I'm a living embodiment of what attractions can do in your life. Okay, from a one-room house in Calcutta, to put my name alongside with Tony Robbins and claim to one of his lead trainers, and not just training. Oh God, I'm a top closer, for Tony's sessions. I've got
yeah.
18.2% conversion, which is a
Mm,
big achievement for a taxi driver's son to achieve. Having said that, what Meenakshi was sharing, I quickly want to add to that. I mean, deep down, she was attracting, this book, and we literally had
mm,
this session, in a kind of a little different nature, maybe already in our mind here, until it became a reality where you are part of it now, and we saw you, in different kind of energy somewhere, and even all the authors, subconsciously deep down, they were attracting this part, saying, what, I really want to break this barrier, and I want to be out there, to be
mm,
seen as an author and write my book. So that's how I think it all happened. And I love what one of my friends used to tell me is that अगर आपके मन की बात हो तो बहुत अच्छा, और अगर आपके मन
mm.
की बात ना हो तो बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा है. So what you're planning, if it happens, good, and if it doesn't happen as per your plan, it is great, because
Very
there's
good.
something called
Yeah,
universal intervention, which happens in
true.
your case. I mean, I can give you like examples and series of things I have failed in. From
Mm.
my tuition center business, to my computer center business, to my this call center cab business, to some of the property estate agents I was
Mm.
doing in Delhi. Oh God, I've got like literally series of all these failures to be the teacher I am today. Because I really bring the essence of all these learnings with me. When I'm speaking, so my speaking is just not mere words. It's got a vibration connected with the experience I bring. From my
Yeah.
past. So yeah, definitely. I think I would be completely wrong not to say that. Oh, you're attracting in one context. A lot what is
Mm.
happening, like or pretty much. So you really have to kind of ground yourself someday, and you have to face the reality and say, what do you really want to have it? There's a gap between that I want to have it, and then there is I really want to have it. The day people
Mm.
agree to the part that I really want to have it, obviously there'll be a journey, a pain and struggle, but then you eventually will
Mm.
reach there, the day you are willing, to bridge that gap. So definitely, oh God, the universal plan, the cosmos plan, the law of attraction, E is equal
Yeah.
to MC square, whatever you want to call it, it's just literally happening right now in this moment.
True. True.
That's
Very
how he
well said.
attracted you.
Exactly. True. We are somewhere, connecting those dots
Yeah,
from the
that's
universe.
absolutely.
Great. That's a great piece of advice to, all the people who are watching us today. Thank you so much. And what is in your store now? What's coming up? What's cooking up in your brains now? So, for the next.
The next project we are doing is called Speak to Shine. It's a program which I've been running for a
Mhm.
good few months now since the pandemic happened. I have literally built up this virtual studio, at the back of my house,
Okay.
and this is going to be our third co-authored project and my fourth book, which is
Mhm.
again almost all the chapters are submitted except for one or two people who are just like on the edge. I'm just in. I'm just in. So once the chapters come in, which will be in this month, we will start cleaning it up, editing, proofreading, formatting, and I don't know. And sometimes people don't realize it. Oh God, the cover takes like ages at times because you're not happy. You really want to make it like amazing. And this is what one
Yeah.
of the sayings I have, that aim for perfection but settle for excellence. I'm not saying do an average job. Really bring your best in the moment for the
Mm.
moment. So yeah, that's the next project, Speak to Shine, and I'm very happy the students were okay to be to say yes
Mm.
for a title, which is in their benefit as well because the title already has a lot of
Yeah.
search, a lot of presence there. So yeah, so the next book is all about communication, all about finding your voice, all about voice, internal, external, speaking in front of people, either one to one, doesn't matter. But it's almost like breathing, and your life
Mm.
gets defined in the way you communicate with yourself to begin with, and then
Mhm.
how do you communicate with the external world? Because that's what I understood, many years back in 2007 when I was attending Tony's Unleash the Power Within event, and I looked
Mm.
around and I said, oh God, I mean, there are like few thousand people, signing up for his program right now. I was one of them running, we're literally fighting to get a form to sign up for his course. And obviously, I made up, I did maths in my head. I'm an Indian, and obviously I'm good with numbers. And I go like, oh God, this is like £3 million right now he's making, and all he's doing is communicating from the stage. So why can't I do this? Something similar. So yeah, a lot in your life you will manifest would depend, on the communication, the level of communication you have with yourself and with
True.
others. So that's the next project, and I'm super excited because that's what I breathe in day out, day in day out. Because I observe communication on a regular basis, and I see,
Yeah.
if this could be told in a different way or in a certain way, can it make a different impact than the impact it's making? So yeah, that's
Mm.
what I love doing. My brain is designed in a very special way to look at words and languaging, and put it in a way that it makes a bigger impact than a smaller impact.
Awesome. Awesome. We wish you all the very best and we look forward to it. So, where are you located, Mr. Aman? So, you're from?
I am presently based in London, just little outskirts of London, like NCR, neighboring city region. I am
Okay.
literally 20 minutes drive from Heathrow. Heathrow is like 12 miles from my house. So yeah,
Okay.
I've been here for good almost 15 years now in a few months.
Okay.
But yeah, so life has been interesting.
So great to connect with you this way.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So, how about you, Meenakshi? Where do you stay and what's in your store now?
So I stay in Delhi NCR region, and
Mm.
So my next project will be with myself alone, and I'm hoping to write like I got so many ideas while writing that chapter that now I have multiple books to come out. Uh, I'm not sure which one will go after this one, but currently this the next book will be on self help again and to
Mhm.
inspire people through the journey that I went through after COVID,
Yeah.
when everything stopped. So the thought leaders that I met and what I learned from all of them,
Mhm.
and why you should be connected to all these people, because it's so important to surround yourself with these thought leaders, because that's when your mindset shifts. When you're
Exactly.
initially starting it, the mindset is different, and when I'm a different person now, I can speak all of this because
Mhm.
I stayed with all of these people, conversating with
True.
them, learning with them. And initially I would be shy, timid, and I would be scared what would I say. Now I'm okay with all of that. So that is what I'll write in that book, and inspire people, I hope, through their
Yeah.
journeys and my journey.
I totally agree. You become the average of five people you move around with all the time. So, so great to have you, both of us. It's been a beautiful conversing with both of you, and thank you so much for all those valuable inputs, and especially taking your time out to share your experiences and the knowledge with our Pick a Book team and the lovely audience here who are watching us live and who are joining, who have joined us in the room as well. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That's it from our authors today. So I'm sure you all have enjoyed the session as much as we enjoyed doing. I totally loved it. The energy in the room is so blessing today. Thank you so much for both of you, and yeah, see you all again next week. Take care. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you for
Thank
having us.
you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.